This club originated from the Adelaide Amiga Users Group from Marion Road from 1988. It started, so there's one guy who was still a hanger-on from that, and he started getting the like-minded enthusiasts to start meeting here. I think it's just sort of grown into people rolling up. We've got themes that we have each month generally, that an IBM theme, or we had Macvember last month, and so we've got March and we're an IBM bit of the themes.
Adelaide used to have a big technology centric sort of, we used to make a lot here in Adelaide. It was the manufacturing city, but nothing was kept, but the people who are around that knew it and have that stuff still.
For me, the hobby is probably the hunt, trying to find stuff, bloody garage sales. Picked up a Mac for $40 a while back at a garage sale, that sort of stuff. And I think, as I say, the nostalgia, when I see a game or hear a song or see a machine, that's what really draws me into it. So that's how, that's what draws me.
There's a couple of things that I get out of it. One is the nostalgia value, obviously, because these are computers from my time as a young bloke starting off in working life. But the other thing is continual problem solving. So there's always something new to learn, keeps me thinking about things and trying new things. So, yeah.
I've got a son that is starting to get into it as well, and he's liking playing some of the old games. He gets more into the old Macs and stuff like that. I like bringing him to these meets as well, and he sits there and plays the games with us, so it's more of a bonding thing between me and my son.
Yeah, a couple of years ago I sort of set up a Raspberry Pi, and I thought I set up an Amiga setup on it. I thought that was pretty cool. And then a mate of mine had a Commodore 286 that he had, and he said, we're throwing this out, do you want it? Took it home, set it up, and started playing old games and stuff, and that was it. I just, got me on the journey, so that's what got me back into it.
Kicked off about 4 years ago when I was going through my shed. Thought I'd make some space, throw out some rubbish. Came across this machine in my shed. I thought, I wonder if it works, and so I switched it on, and it worked a bit, but not quite. And so I spent the next 2 days fiddling around with it, getting it to work. And at the end of that, I thought, that was good fun. I'd like to do that again.
Yeah, in terms of the heritage, there's a lad here that collects stuff that were only made in South Australia. This is the first computer I had, so this is what I remember from my family. So I'm going to collect this. I've got a Cleveland 286 computer that was made in Australia that we've only ever seen one here. So that's sort of the preservation that I think is really good. And then I guess there's making sure these things just aren't getting tossed into the e-waste. So that's a bit of a crime as far as most of us are concerned. You see the guys down the Bunnings bins sometimes trying to grab some stuff, so preserving the heritage.
Everyone has different goals. Some people will be trying to preserve them exactly as they were. Some people will be trying to modify them to make them fantastic in modern terms. Me, I just want something that's kind of representative. I don't mind if a computer has a few warts, tells the story about its life. I just want to get them working, because I think if a computer's not working, it's just a piece of junk. So I do like to make them work, and I like them to work reliably, and I try to make sure that there's nothing that's going to deteriorate in any reasonable amount of time, so that at least there's not harm being done.
Yeah, I'm semi-techie, so it's not too bad. I'll swap some chips out, and I'll pull a few things off a board and resolder it. But we're pretty lucky. There's some good guys in the club. One guy fixes, he's an electronic engineer, so he can take some screens or some boards. And another lad, he's repairing, replacing capacitors and stuff. So it's a really good mix of people.
I can repair a lot of things. Finding parts is hard, but there's a lot of sacrificial parts. So I've got boxes, plastic tubs stacked high in my shed of old parts that I can get something out of. Sitting out on the table there, what is my current pride and joy? It's a fully restored from rust up 286, 16 megahertz. Doesn't sound like much, but I had to repair everything for it, and I've got it back to in a condition that you'd actually have bought it from a shop.
My pride and joy, I've got a couple. I have the IBM PC from my first work when I started as a graduate engineer, and was it 1985, 1986? I can't remember now. So there's that, and there's also an Apple II clone, which was my pride and joy as a student.
I think we're actually quite funny. I post the photos on Facebook every month, and it's quite scary that a number of people in Melbourne and Sydney and Canberra go, oh, I wish we could do this in Sydney or Melbourne. We can't even get a group together. These guys have been doing it for 5 to 7 years, you know. And quite a few people that just roll up and bring their stuff and, you know, got that enthusiasm. We're actually quite surprised. We've got quite a few young lads that are, you know, their friends just don't want to know about old technology. They want to be on iPhones and everything else, but they love the old tech, so it's good for them to have a bit of an outlet. Yeah, the club pretty much welcomes everyone, and yeah, come on in and get your retro out. That's what I like to say.